The greatest attacking chess player in the whole world, Mikhail Tal against Svirdov. Hopefully I said that name right, but I probably didn't. Let's just get into the game right quick. So let's go into this right quick. Mikhail Tal decided to play e4 because he's an aggressive player, and so why not play e4 to get into it right quick? If you're trying to get quick wins, why not just play e4? After that, we got c5 going into a sharp opening, which is called the Sicilian defense. After that, we got knight f3, d6, d4, which is all opening theory, c takes d4, knight takes d4, and this has been played for more than decades now. This exact position have been played very thoroughly. Every move have been played. E6, A6, B6, bishop D7, G6, knight F6. I would be surprised if F5 wasn't played, but every move have been played in this opening. So after knight d4, we got the move knight f6 being played, attacking the pawn, knight c3, protecting the pawn, then g6 was played, which I don't know why it's called an inaccuracy. Maybe because they would like the a6 move being played, but you know, this was back in 1969, so there wasn't any computers that you can look at to be like, oh snap, this is actually the correct move in this opening theory. Now, after g6 was played, we got bishop e3, bishop g7, fianchettoing the bishop, and then we got f3. F3, probably white is going to be planning on going queenside castling, because usually with f3 being played, they want to like push up their kingside pawns to attack on the flank. After f3 was played, we got knight c6, knight c6, queen d2, like I called it, going queenside castling, bishop d7, and then the ultimate move, queenside castling. Mikhail Tal did not waste any time to do this because he understands the importance of castling, especially in the Sicilian defense. And this is like the dragon variation of the Sicilian defense, the most aggressive, one of the most aggressive openings in the Sicilian. After queenside castling was done, we got queen a5, which is an inaccuracy in this position. There are better moves, which is h5 being played. I don't know. I'm not going to get into why h5 was a better move. Let's just continue on with the game, since this is a game that was played in the 1900s. After queen a5 was played, we got king b1. Usually king b1 is a great move after castling on the queen side. You should always be doing that, pretty much to protect your king. Make sure that you have better king safety than your opponent. After king b1, rook c8, controlling the c file. After rook c8, g4. Now white is ready to attack our opponent that is on the center of the board. And by center, I mean have not castled at all. Why isn't black castling? Probably try to do the decision of just staying in the center, and maybe they was arguing, hey, my king is better in the center. I don't need to castle. Castling is for chumps. Let's figure out if that's even true or not. After g4, we got h6, slow move. I'm not going to say that I like the move, but who cares? After h4, and there's probably doing h6 to prevent white from doing g5. You know, it was probably a good move. My bad from criticizing it. h4, a6, now a6, too late for that. Bishop e2. And this is a normal move, but black decided to do this annoying move, and this is a massive blunder by black. Knight e5. Why is this a blunder by black? Well, let's get into it right quick. Let's get into how black is going to lose in the next 5 moves. After the knight went to e5, best move was bishop going to e6, but this knight went to e5. What can we do to pretty much put pressure on black's position? Well, let's poke the bear a little bit with g5, doing a threat. After g5, h takes g5, h takes g5. Another blunder by black was capturing this rook on h1, because the best move was knight h5. And you're probably wondering, well, let's just get this rook off the board on h1. Let's just recapture the rook, obviously, and get this h-file, and then figure out what we're doing next. Probably f4, probably bishop c4, not bishop c4, but bishop f4. I don't know. What's better? What's better than just recapturing the rook? Well, Mikhail Tal was thinking. He was thinking to himself, how can I just demolish my opponent without recapturing that rook? Well, Is there any better moves that white can do without recapturing, doing the lazy move and recapturing the rook? Because he's crazy like that. And he thought of the wonderful move, G takes F6. G takes F6. And yes, this move was played. And after rook takes D1, check, knight takes D1, queen takes D2, and F takes G7. You know how nasty this position is? We're threatening checkmate in one. The king, if the king moves, then I can just queen, take your rook, and then take this queen back, and I'm up 2 minor pieces. And you gave me these 2 minor pieces with this G-pawn. This G-pawn became a pass pawn in a few moves because you wanted to take this rook on H1. But you're probably wondering, what if they just take the pawn back? Like, did they really have to take the rook on D1? Now, remember though, I just want to say, remember this. If this bishop took this pawn on F6, I can just recapture this rook on H1 and you're down in material. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm up an extra minor piece and you're going to have to figure out a way to draw this position because I'm Mikhail Tal. I'm the white pieces here. Because remember, I took the knight on F6 instead of recapturing the rook. So yeah, you can survive this position by taking this pawn back on F6. This is the better move, but you're already lost anyway going against the Grandmaster. This is the greatest attacker in the world, and they have a lot more games in their arsenal that we as players can learn from, and we should aspire to be like these old Grandmasters who have all this knowledge without chess engines, okay?